Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's the imperfect one, King Cruze, along with the last man standing, Christopher Hart, bringing you the Jobber Jab.
Just when you think you've got all the answers, here we come to change the culture. Now go ahead.
Before we get started with this episode of Jobber Jab, we'd like to throw it to our good friend,
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, Mrs.
Mrs.
Foley's baby boy.
For showing Jobber Jab some love.
Have a nice day.
Jobber jab. Jobber jab. Jobber jab. Oh, jobber jab. Oh, jobber jab. Have a nice day.
There you go. There's Mankind saying the words jobber jab, which is I guess that's a great way to explain professional wrestling. Christopher Hart, this is a hardcore legend. Mick Foley, yes, indeed, convalescing from a bout with COVID out here on the patio and doing these cameos, which are the highlight of my day. I hope this puts a big smile on your face. Christopher, this video comes to you courtesy of your buddy Cruze, who wanted to do something really special for you just because you're his buddy. And he thought, wow, what better way to show I care than with a personal video message from Christopher's all-time favorite wrestler. Then it turns out The Undertaker's price was a little steep, and so he settled for Foley. I'm sure glad that he did. Christopher, I just want to put a smile on your face during this tough time and tell you that I appreciate you guys being fans. I know you had tickets to see me in Michigan, and then we had to postpone it because there's crummy virus going around. And I'm going to be back there in the fall, even though we might have to move it to the spring because of the slowness of this vaccination. But I wanted to say thank you so much being fans. And I want to repeat the sentiments. I think I was thinking of Enterman's, which is a well-known Long Island bakery specializing in cookies and cakes. And I just want to, especially, the coffee cake's incredible. Thank you very much, guys. And in conclusion, I would like to echo those sentiments by saying jobber jab. Yeah.
There you have it.
Again, we'd like to throw some love up to The Real Mick Foley, at The Real Mick Foley. Thank you for showing Jobber Jab some love. We'll see you when you come to Michigan. Hopefully you get to make it over to New Jersey once you get the bout of COVID cleared up. Get some of those delicious Entenmann's.
Again, hope you feel better, Mick. Thank you for showing us some love. Hurry up and come to Rockford so we can see you.
See you soon. Go ahead.
Allow me to reintroduce myself, His Holiness King Cruze.
I am Mr. Hart, Christopher Hart. And are you currently watching the number 2 episode of Jobber Jab?
Correct. Now, sorry for the delay. We had some technical difficulties while we were filming episode 2. We didn't have the mics on. So there's a extended delay for the episode. We're not putting any blame anywhere. We filmed solid gold. 1 hour of footage that has no audio. But if you'd like to see it, let us know. But jumping right into it, first we'd like to say thank you to everybody that subscribed to the channel.
Go ahead and feel free to follow us here on YouTube at Jobber Jab.
Also on Instagram, JobberJab2021.
Don't forget to hit up that Twitter space at official JJab.
Again, anybody who gave us feedback, gave us some input, commented, we thank you. We appreciate it. New content is coming. I want to get into some of the comments that we got. We had asked last week, dream matches that you would have liked to have seen past or present, wrestlers from all across the board. So, kicking right off, let's go Usos versus the Hardys.
Usos versus the Hardys. You got High Flyers against High Flyers. Damn good match. I don't think there's a bad thing that the Hardys or the Usos can put out as a tag team. So you do have that.
I feel the day one-ish Usos against the broken.
Yeah, none of that haka on the stage ramp.
No, we're not going there.
It's cool. I like it. Respect to the haka. Yeah. But yeah, we want the day one-ish. We want the G shit.
The bloodline Usos against the broken or woken universe, whatever you want to call it.
Depending on which brand you're in.
I think Brother Nero and the broken or woken Matt Hardy against those Usos.
Yes.
I think the storytelling would have been great. That is definitely a dream match, and you never know. Could always see it. The other one, LOD versus The Shield.
Damn good. Like, I'm picturing LOD SummerSlam entrance coming in on the Harleys. You got The Shield coming in through the crowd. You're looking at a 5-minute entrance alone, just that, and then just the epicness. And then you've got the tandem finishers. You know, you got the
triple power bomb for the
triple
Shield.
power bomb for the Shield versus the Doomsday Device for the Legion of Doom.
Absolutely. I love a good entrance, so I think the entrance sets up everything. The entrance for that matchup, incredible. Watching Roman Reigns take a Doomsday Device, or even either one of the Road Warriors take a triple power bomb to pass the torch, I think would be awesome. Be amazing to see. Great suggestion. The last one, The Miz versus Roddy Piper. Hot Rod.
That one's a little bit iffy on me. For me,
Okay.
You kind of get the same feeling when both of them came to the ring. You know, The Miz comes down to the ring, or Roddy Piper would come down to the ring, or they'd be cutting a promo, and my inner 8-year-old voice is going, I wouldn't trust them. Because somebody's getting hit in the face, somebody's getting thrown over ropes, somebody's getting a coconut smashed over the head.
Listen, if I seen Roddy Piper in the grocery store, I'd stay away from any coconut.
Yeah, we're definitely staying out of the produce aisle.
I believe those two superstars are very underrated on the mic. I think anytime they had a mic in their hand, they were dynamite. And I think that the promos alone would have sold that matchup. So Miz and Roddy Piper, I think, had WrestleMania written all over it, and they would have stole the show. They are workers. They would have looked good. Matter of fact, I would have liked a parking lot brawl, kind of how a la Roddy Piper and Goldust. When we had the OJ, the OJ film. I thought that'd be perfect, something like that. Maybe bring that back around. I think would be a great callback to those old WrestleManias.
There you go.
Switching gears, we're going to go Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre, test positive for COVID-19. Not going to make any jokes about this. Drew, hope you feel better. But, big story, Drew McIntyre accepts Bill Goldberg's challenge.
Challenge for the Rumble, for the title. Again, we got into this on the first episode. I don't want to see Goldberg take the title. He doesn't need the strap. It's something that you're taking something away from a developed superstar who is on top of his game right now. So do it to try to get the attendance. Do what you got to do with that. But as far as having Goldberg take the strap and run with it to Mania, it's just not needed.
It's not. It's not needed. We have superstars that are ready for develop, especially when we don't have fans. I don't feel we need that extra pop from a legend.
True.
I don't think he's needed in the Thunderdome. Honestly, when I found out Drew McIntyre tested positive, I thought COVID didn't even want to see this matchup. I think Drew needs to go over at Royal Rumble. He needs to go over clean. I honestly would like to see him beat him in under 5 minutes. He beat Brock Lesnar in under 5. Goldberg needs to go down the same way.
I could see that.
I'm fine with Goldberg even jumping back in.
Goldberg misses the spear. Drew McIntyre rebounds. 1, 2, 3. Claymore hits him. Takes the pin.
That spear that he misses, he hits the turnbuckle. On the rebound, he turns around into a Claymore. Absolutely. That's
Perfect.
how I would write it.
Award-winning finish right there.
That's how I would write it. I'm fine with him going into the Rumble. That's fine. He can go in there, be Bill Goldberg, but not win it. The only way I want to see Bill Goldberg win the title and go to WrestleMania is if he fights Matt Riddle. That's what I want to see. Those two do not like each other. There is genuine heat there. Just for Riddle calling him out on Twitter.
For the best jackhammer?
Yes. When he dropped The Undertaker, which we talked about briefly. And then they had a backstage interaction where Riddle kept calling him bro, and Goldberg said, I'm not your bro. And then on top of that, Riddle calls him out again on Twitter. Look it up. He's calling him out there. The only way I want Goldberg to win this is if it's Matt Riddle who wins the Royal Rumble and challenges him at WrestleMania. And then we have a shoot match.
There you go.
That'd be
good money.
Love to see it. Switching gears, the other big story coming out of Raw.
So coming out of Raw, I hate to say that I told you so, but Vinnie Mac and the WWE did exactly what I told you they would do if something were to happen. And
Listen, Mr. Hart, I didn't know you had a direct line to Mr. McMahon. I didn't know.
There was no direct line. I can just see inside what the genius is thinking. And
I didn't know.
Unfortunately, it's on replay. He's like playing a Dane Cook CD from 10 years ago, man. The shit's just playing over and over and over again.
I didn't know I was sitting next to Nostradamus, all right? You have a direct line to VKM. I didn't know who the hell I was sitting next to.
There you go. So he did exactly what I said he would do, and he did the break glass in case of emergency. And who did he pull out for a brief unretirement? Triple H. You got Triple H coming down to the ring, beginning of Monday Night Raw. Gets in Orton's face. They have their little bit of an exchange. I think Orton even told him he needs to pull his balls out of Steph's purse. So,
yes. First,
which I don't think that's the first time he's used that against Triple H.
No, 1 year ago he used it. But again, it works. He's a married man. You're going to insult a man's balls. It happens. He challenges him to a fight later on. Before I get to that, can I just say, no person has better entrance music that fits his character than Triple H.
Than Trips.
Hail to the King, or Bow Down to the King.
Bow Down to the King.
And then Time to Play the Game.
And not only that, I love that he's probably one of the only superstars or one of the only people in the WWE that has a constant changing Titantron. His Latin in the back of it has always changed. I think at first it was like Call to Rule. Now it's like Fight to Win.
I'm glad you knew what those said, because I didn't.
Oh, Google, man. You can find out anything. I have an iPhone. I have no reason not to know the answer to anything anymore. So he comes down to the ring, like I said, and they have their brief exchange. They have their match at the end of the night. First match that Triple H has been in since 2019.
Yes.
And it kind of has an odd ending.
Yes, odd ending indeed. It was a fight. This was not a sanctioned match, so I don't even know if we say he's out of retirement. There was no referee. Great segment backstage with Kieth Lee and Triple H, where Kieth Lee has a good mentor moment where he says, "Let me take this one. I can do this." Triple H says, "No. I created this monster. I'll take care of it." Kieth Lee hands him the leather jacket and tells him, "I guess it's time to play the game."
Mm-hmm.
Taped up, looking like a biker. It's time for a fight. The cerebral assassin against the legend killer. Fists flying. It's a brawl. No ref in sight. Triple H pulls out Old Faithful. The sledgehammer. The sledgehammer. Anybody knows that weapon in his hand. The legacy.
Lethal.
The history behind that weapon. It's unprecedented. All of a sudden, lights start going out. Monitors go out. The Thunderdome is going black. Sledgehammer's on fire. Lights go out.
Trips backs out of the ring.
Trips is gone.
Yeah.
And you have Alexa Bliss.
She's in. She comes in the ring. She's got her cute little thing going on. Alexa Bliss's playground, if you will. She holds up her... she's got the new gloves. Play in Pain. She holds up...
Can I just say, too, not to interrupt?
Yeah.
She is playing her character perfectly.
Perfectly.
She is carrying this storyline while The Fiend is gone, and they are not rushing his return, which worried me.
We've already discussed this. Rushing the returns is a bad thing, WWE. Bad.
I've always said one of the returns that they rushed was CM Punk after he won the title from John Cena.
In Chicago.
And he was supposed to take that belt and leave. Not be a part of the company, but he comes back the next night. Rushed.
Way rushed.
There's nothing better than that slow burn. That story that gets you. The Daniel Bryan story all the way to Mania.
As I say, think about in the CM Punk aspect, think about a 3 to 6 week battle royale for the championship, and then you have Cena and Mysterio battle it out, and then Punk return.
Yes.
The pop they would have got would have been 10 times over what it was.
The storytelling, the slow burn is what we need, and Alexa and Randy. You couldn't have picked somebody else to play off of her that's better.
You guys are taking it to the hoop, I guess we could say.
Absolutely.
To the ring.
Absolutely. Randy Orton is the perfect antagonist, and which is crazy to think about when you have a character like The Fiend being the protagonist.
Yes.
He was set on fire, but this is supposed to be this monster, and yet we're more or less siding with Alexa Bliss and The Fiend here. We're anxiously awaiting.
Yeah, and that's what exactly where I was going to go with it. You're siding with The Fiend. You're siding with Alexa Bliss. You're anxious to see them going to take this. I hate to see it, but I want to see The Fiend come back bigger than life.
Absolutely. His return needs to be big.
But getting back on the topic.
Yes.
So you've got Alexa Bliss in the ring. She's got her Play in Pain gloves. She holds up the pain, and as she's doing it, she brings around the other side and blasts Orton with a fireball. Orton plays this perfectly.
Now, they've done this trick before.
They have.
It's not often you've seen it, but it's been done. It's very dangerous. I mean, this is a fireball coming at you. And, I mean, there's no way around it. He got hit with a fireball. I'm sure it was done safely. This is the WWE. They're not going to take major risks with one of their major stars. But this was played out perfectly. Orton plays his role. I am very interested to see how this plays out next Monday. And that's the point of a good storyline. It gets you coming back. I hope we're not waiting to find out what happens. This needs to start Monday Night Raw.
It does.
It needs to start.
Just kind of how, was it 2 Mondays ago? It ended with Alexa Bliss being lit on fire, and nobody knew what happened. They left you on that cliffhanger, so they picked it up right with it. She's not burnt. She's not anything.
Yes.
Right back at you.
Yes.
Before we transition into the next topic, I wanted to bring up something that we had previously talked about, but we kind of forgot about for the video. Kieth Lee. Keith Lee and his match.
So Keith Lee is on a roll of just having incredible matches right now. He is on fire. And I guess getting sent back to NXT wasn't a bad thing.
It wasn't a bad thing.
Incredible match.
Now that he's back on Raw, he is having some hellacious matches. His match against Miz and Morrison, if you didn't watch the match, he did one thing in particular in that match. He Irish whips Morrison into the turnbuckle.
And the turnbuckle explodes.
The ring breaks.
Yes, he breaks the ring.
And you could tell by the expression on his face that wasn't planned.
No.
And that was so beautiful that they played that off.
Yes. Now, we've seen the ring break before. I've never seen somebody get Irish whipped into a turnbuckle and have that explode.
I've never seen anybody smaller than the Big Show do it.
Right.
So,
and the fact they cut to a commercial. It was a quick commercial. We come back, and the crew is still working on this ring. On the ropes. They're battling away from the rope. Being extreme professionals, waiting for that to get done. Morrison sold it great. Now, we mentioned Drew McIntyre tested positive for COVID. I'm curious if not more are dealing with COVID as well, because superstars had to do double duty. Keith Lee and Sheamus had to do double duty. They had to wrestle Miz and John Morrison in a tag team match, and then right after, a singles match against each other, which, again, continued the role one that Keith Lee is putting on, great matches, and then the career resurgence of Sheamus. Sheamus and him have chemistry. They look great in the ring together. They're physical, they're big guys, and Sheamus throws around his weight as well. Him doing the Irish curse to Keith Lee is no easy task, but he does it. There's a great part in the match that I'm glad the mics picked up as well. When they're outside the ring, Keith Lee does a belly-to-belly to Sheamus. Almost a belly-to-belly. He tosses him over to the ring announcer's area. And he rolls in the ring. He's waiting for the 10 count. Which I was surprised. That's not a face thing to do.
Yes.
But he's waiting for the 10 count. Sheamus makes it in. He rolls and actually clips Keith Lee, so Keith Lee falls.
Keith Lee falls, hops right back up.
Hops right back up. And looks at Sheamus and says, "Oh, you think you tough." Now, if you don't know what movie that's from, just search that in YouTube, all right?
I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell you what it's from. If you haven't seen Don't Be a Menace,
Don't get
it.
started.
It's on Amazon right now. Go watch it, damn it. It's a good movie.
Don't get us started on movie quotes. I popped when I heard it. It
Definitely.
was hilarious. But again, great match by those two.
In fact, you know what? Insert clip here when I do the editing. You're gonna see the clip.
You'll see the clip and you'll pop.
Hey everybody, Christopher Hart here, doing some editing. Wanted to make a quick correction. It was Menace to Society, not Don't Be a Menace. Don't Be a Menace is the comedy version. Anyway, here's the clip we were talking about. Enjoy.
I didn't do nothing. You think you tough?
He's using the Spirit Bomb as his finisher, which I'm fine with. The Spirit Bomb looks great when he does it. Sit out power bomb, the extra last ride oomph. Keith Lee, I think, is on to big things. I'm calling it now. That is my Royal Rumble winner. Keith Lee. Signed, sealed, delivered. You heard it here first. Keith Lee is winning it.
We're going to talk about Royal Rumble winners, huh?
You know what? Yes. Predictions. Early predictions that we have no business making, even though the Royal Rumble is a couple weeks away. I got Keith Lee. Who are we going with?
I want to see Brian take the Rumble.
Okay.
Brian would be good to take the Rumble. As far as a SmackDown perspective, I'd like to see an up-and-comer like that. If we're going to go Raw, taking the Rumble, Keith Lee's a good choice. I'm going to go with Sheamus, though.
Okay.
Like we said earlier, Sheamus is looking good. He's getting back into the ring. He's knocking off that ring rust. He's got his look down packed. I think Sheamus would be a good one to win the Rumble if you're gonna keep McIntyre with the title. If Goldberg's gonna take the title, then Riddle makes sense. But
I was just gonna interject that if Goldberg wins, I want Riddle to win, not Keith Lee.
Yeah. But I think Sheamus would be a good one. Like previously, we had spoken about the friend going into the enemy angle again.
Yes.
It's been done, but unfortunately, with Sheamus and McIntyre, that will work wonders. So that's going to be my prediction.
I think Drew McIntyre is on a hot streak. He's
He is.
never looked better than this current run he has. Even the run he had with the title and lost it to Orton, this run is 10 times better. He looks great in the ring.
That he does.
So we're going to transition from Raw to SmackDown. Let's look at the other side of things. This championship match, signed, sealed, delivered last night. Kevin Owens pulls a fast one. Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns 3 at
Kevin
the Royal
Owens,
Rumble.
RO3.
Last man standing. I'm not going to lie to you. When Kevin Owens came out, when Adam Pearce pulled the injury angle and told Roman Reigns, hey, you signed the contract. I got a nagging injury that just came back up. Like the contract states. Card subject to change. And then he said, I have a perfect replacement. Not going to lie to you. Had I heard burn it down, I would have went nuts. But I get it.
It's not time. They might actually be building the Seth Rollins return. I mean...
And we're going back to, the real Seth Rollins, the architect. This might actually be the big dog slayer.
Yeah, this Monday Night Jesus stuff needs to go stay buried in the past. I get there's a lot of fans that like this Monday Night Messiah, but he got switched over to SmackDown, and he went MIA because him and Becky Lynch had their baby. Congratulations, by the way. I know it's a little bit over.
The man
overdue.
became a mom. I love you, Becky.
So, had he came back, and he comes back as the actual architect, money. But they didn't do that. They're building his return still. Actually, they haven't even started building his return yet. So, but they put KO in the match. Kevin Owens. Kevin Steen, if you guys followed him in the indie circuits.
Fight Owens fight. Stun the world. Their first match. Incredible. Mm-hmm. They're laying it all out there. Second match. Lived up to the hype. These guys are going at it. So I have no doubt in a last man standing match, these guys are going to deliver. Can I just say, not only is Roman Reigns having the run of his life, this character is what he should have been.
The Bloodline character or the head of the table, excuse me. The Bloodline's kind of the Usos.
Yes.
But the head of the table character, I don't like it being called that, but I see, again, looking at my little VKM crystal ball, I see where that storyline's going.
There's only one way that can go.
That's not gonna. I mean, I don't think it's gonna culminate at WrestleMania this year like they
There's
thought
no
it would.
fans. There's no fans.
No fans. Not worth the money that they're putting into it right now.
And for the people who don't know what he's talking about, where do you think this is going?
This is going one place. One. You got the head of the table versus the original head of the table that was in
the Samoan dynasty head of the table.
That was
who could you be talking about? Who?
The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It's already been laid out. Last year, Reigns even challenged The Rock. Me and you, Mania, let's go. And from then on, you could see the build up to this storyline. Now, like you said, there's no fans, so right now doing the storyline is just kind of pointless. It's asinine, if you will. So keeping this bloodline story going until, you might not be able to get it at Mania, but even SummerSlam maybe. Assuming things are lifted, SummerSlam might be a good place to debut this storyline and then continue it on to next Mania.
I agree. It's going there. It's got to.
The writing's on the wall already.
The writing's on the wall. That Samoan dynasty. And The Rock has said he's not done. He's not going anywhere. He's a busy man. Not only does he have a tequila, he has a new energy drink out, and then making countless movies.
Most of them are Fast and Furious.
We're not going to talk about Fast and Furious. It should have been out already. Thanks, COVID. But he's a busy man, but there's no fans. Again, no fans. There's no point to bring these people back. You don't get that instant gratification. Can you imagine Roman Reigns sitting there, defeated everybody? There is nobody that can touch the head of the table, the tribal chief. He's wearing his lei. He's got his cousins with him. He's got Heyman with him. He's got his uncles, the family members that made up that tribe, all telling him he's the man.
And then you've got The Rock's entrance music.
And then you hear If You Smell What The Rock Is Cooking. And here he comes.
Down the ramp.
To question the tribal chief.
Gets in the ring with the tribal chief. And even starts from the top, working his way down to the bottom. Talking about how his grandfather, the high chief, Peter Maivia, down to his dad, Rocky Johnson, down to him as Rocky Maivia, into The Rock. If anybody holds claim to the head of the table, it's the people's champ.
And let's be honest, he's only letting Roman Reigns sit there.
Agreed.
But as good as Roman Reigns is right now, you have to have a good side B. And goddamn, Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is a good side B. I want to take a moment to interject away from the main storyline to an interview that took place with Paul Heyman. Kevin Owens has, and in all honesty, this kind of seems like a real life scenario, or a potato as they call it in the business, gone real. It seems like KO is salty for constantly getting passed up. He did an interview with Paul Heyman and talking about how every time Paul Heyman needed something when he was the general manager of Raw, or chief production of
yeah.
Raw, he would call on KO and say, hey, I need you to make it happen. KO would go down to the ring, make it happen, and then in return, KO would be like, hey, I'm busting my ass for you. Do you think I can get a shot at Lesnar with the title? KO versus the Beast Incarnate. Would have been a great match. Pop-up powerbomb versus the F5. And every time, Heyman would just say, yeah, I'll talk to Lesnar, see what he says. And he just kept getting passed over and passed over. So fast forward to this. Now you've got KO getting stepped into the championship picture.
And he's a perfect protagonist. Right now he's carrying that attitude of it's him against the world.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it's him against the tribal chief, the head of the table, and his cousin. I can't wait for Jimmy to come back, so it's not Jay by himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Usos against them.
As long as they go more, I want to see them go a little bit more hardcore with it. I don't want to see, who is it, Mercury and Jamie Noble
right
at the side. You know,
yeah,
I want to see legitimate enforcers,
yes.
People that are going to come in, whoop some ass, and then get away with some sketchy shit and get out of the ring so Reigns can get the win.
I agree.
This whole having your stooges, so to speak, that's not going to work for me. I want to see Jimmy and Jay really rock this.
I agree, and the fact that that Jay is losing matches
mm-hmm.
hurts his credibility to me. Now, there are some matches that you're going to bounce back from. I get it. It's storytelling. He lost against Shinsuke Nakamura
mm-hmm.
last night, which right now Shinsuke looks like money. Got his old theme song, so I believe there's a face turn there. He went through the gauntlet, much like Kofi Kingston did on his run of the championship.
Yep.
Shinsuke ran the gauntlet, was screwed over, so he did not get his title, so already we're building heat for Shinsuke. Jay needs to get wins under his belt. We need to get his brother back. I would love to see them with the tag titles, along with Roman holding the world title
yep.
on SmackDown. That's just a route I would take. Let them hold gold. For some odd reason, Apollo Cruze is being teased. I'm not liking that just because he doesn't fit the bloodline. This is the tribal chief and his people. This is the Samoan dynasty.
The Samoan dynasty.
I'd leave Apollo Cruze out of it.
Give them the credit that they've been robbed of for so long.
But I feel, again, this main event is going to steal the show. Roman Reigns is being the best version of himself. Kevin Owens is followed right behind him. The promos he's going to cut are going to be great. The action is going to be solid. Action-packed.
Now, my only downside is, as much as I like KO, you know he's getting the L.
Yes.
You know, Roman Reigns is going to take that win. He's got to carry the belt to Mania. If, for whatever crazy reason they have Owens take the belt, it'll be the quickest championship run in history because I believe Reigns will be getting it right back.
As good as Kevin Owens' run is right now as this protagonist, he has to lose. Roman Reigns is money right now. You cannot take that from him.
But that'd be a good way to build up the steam, too. You have him lose the belt, make everybody think that this is... That Reigns is on his way down the spiral, and then, You've got one pay-per-view between here and
Mania.
He gets it right back, or even win it back the next night on Raw.
And
that's one rush that I would be okay with.
That's very possible. And he meant SmackDown.
On SmackDown, excuse me.
That's very possible. An angry Roman Reigns would actually be good to see. The big dog pissed off, tearing the house down, being the Samoan badass that he's supposed to be. That could be good money. There's a lot of ways this can go right now with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens looks legit right now. So I would love to see him get the belt. I think he still takes the L.
Okay.
All right. Sports Illustrated came out with a great article. The top 10 wrestlers of 2020. Sasha Banks. Number one. Number one. The Boss.
The Boss. Congratulations to her. Everything she's done this year. This is just another accolade on the ladder of Sasha Banks right now.
I'm really glad when I said The Boss, you did not say it's boss time.
I think I did that in the previous video.
You did that in the previous episode?
Every time I hear The Boss or Sasha Banks, I think of Michael Cole saying that. And it's really hard for me not to.
I am annoyed with Michael Cole saying it's boss time because it makes me even more mad when I hear the big dog. I can't take it. Michael Cole, stop. For the love of God, stop. But anyway, losing track. Sports Illustrated, number one, Sasha Banks for 2020. Mm-hmm. Great pick. I personally feel she's a better heel than a face, and she's definitely in a face role right now. She's having great matches, and some people cherry picked, and said she can't have a good match without the four horsewomen. Which, when I speak four horsewomen, Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, and Sasha.
Agreed.
They say she can't have a match without them. I disagree.
I do disagree in that aspect. Over this last few months, Sasha has shown, with the absence of Charlotte and taking the belt from Becky, that from Bayley, excuse me, she can be the tip of the spear, so to speak. I'm not going to say she's right up there with rushing the women's evolution, but she is definitely a part of it. She is definitely holding her own place in it, and right now, she's golden.
Listen, I'm a big fan of the women's revolution. Charlotte, every time she's in the ring, shows why she's head and shoulders above the rest. She's a Hall of Famer. She's going to be already with her accolades. They put the strap on her so many times. But Sasha is right there as well. Sasha is legit. Her matches with Asuka, Carmella, Bayley, the tag team with Bayley.
That was a good, yeah.
So I just feel, yes, her run is great. Personally, I think Bayley had a better run in 2020. That's me personally. But I'd like to actually read some of the wrestlers she beat out. Now, again, this is the top 10. I'll give you the top 5.
Okay.
We're going to start at number 5. This is going to make some people mad.
It is going to make some people mad.
The Cleaner.
The Collector.
The Collector. Thanos, if you will. Kenny Omega. Number 5. Number 5. Number 4. New Japan. Tetsuya Naito.
Okay.
Number 3. Drew McIntyre.
The Scottish Hammer himself.
Number 2. Jon Moxley. Those are just a few names that Sasha Banks beat out for this accolade. This number 1 Sports Illustrated ranking.
I want to focus on one of the names on that list. Somebody that I think is gold right now, and not just part of the Golden Lovers. I'm talking about Kenny Omega.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. For those of you that haven't seen AEW or Impact or any of these things, on AEW's New Year's Smash.
Yes.
Night 1, you had the reunion.
Sweet me if you see me.
Of the Elite. I'm going to go ahead and go on record right now and say that this isn't a Bullet Club reunion. I've been seeing a lot of that online. Everybody's saying the Bullet Clubs are reuniting. The Bullet Club has never been broken up. The Bullet Club is alive and well in New Japan Wrestling, along with the GOD.
GOD.
So they're alive and well. If anything, I'm going to say that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have added the Good Brothers from Impact to the Elite. That's where I'm at with it.
I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. Great business move. This is what's best for business. Open up your wrestling borders. It's time. It is time. Impact, AEW.
And not only that, I mean, if you do make it some kind of an extended elite into the Bullet Club, you're including in New Japan. Not only, I mean, think of the pop you would have if Tama Tonga comes over to AEW. Not only that, I personally would mark the hell out for Kota Ibushi coming over and reforming the Golden Lovers with Kenny Omega.
That's a slow build.
It is a slow build. I mean, right now they're focusing clearly on the Elite and Kenny Omega.
Honestly, I'll do you one better. I don't want to see the Golden Lovers reunite.
Okay.
I want Kota Ibushi to come to AEW and be disgusted with what Kenny Omega's doing. I want to heal Kenny Omega.
Okay.
And to face Kota Ibushi and let them fucking battle. I think instead of reuniting the Golden Lovers, let them battle. I always thought they're a great tag team.
They put on a good match.
But together they tear the house down. I want him coming over disgusted. Because if you ask me, New Japan has to be cut in on this deal. Because there's too many New Japan references for them not to be cut in.
True.
If there's not a cease and desist letter coming to AEW, they are in on it. So I would love to see an invasion of AEW and TNA or Impact Wrestling by New Japan. Their Bullet Club.
So Bullet Club versus the Elite, so to speak. That'd be one hell of a show. And not only that, I mean, you've got the setup right now.
Tonight at Hard Justice.
At Hard Justice
it is Rich
tonight.
Swann and Motor City Machine Guns.
Versus the Good Brothers.
And Kenny Omega.
Excellent build to this. You've got... This has again, it's got money written all over it. You just can't, anytime you have the cross platforms of multiple companies, it's gonna skyrocket.
This is the future of wrestling. The dream matches that we talked about. Take away all the promotions. This is what needs to happen.
And the egos. Take away the egos.
There is money on the board. And this is amazing. The story that you can create across not only one promotion, but now a second one with multiple weekly shows with their multiple pay-per-views. You can write this story however you want. The Good Brothers showed up on AEW this past week. It was supposed to be the Elite in a tag team match. Instead, the Young Bucks got left behind. The Good Brothers showed up. It was Kenny and the Good Brothers. And they haven't missed a beat. Can I just say the fact that the Good Brothers are relishing in their WWE release. Some people say WWE is the Mecca, and it very well may be. But when you leave and you do something like this, you stick it. You stick it right to WWE.
Because here's the thing, with multiple members of the former Bullet Club in the WWE, you've got Finn Balor, you've got AJ Styles, you've got Adam Cole. I almost said Michael Cole.
You almost did.
You've got Adam Cole, okay? For you to have those three monumental superstars and not be combating the Elite or the Bullet Club with the club or whatever you want to call it over there.
This should have happened in WWE.
When you happened with the Good Brothers while they were in the WWE.
And not only that, you said it on our unreleased episode too. You had 3 leaders of the Bullet Club. Finn, who was back to being the Prince.
Minus the debit.
And can I say, the promo he just cut Wednesday, when he said, let me give you some advice. They stopped manufacturing the cloth I'm cut from. Mic drop. He's telling you he is the best. You got Adam Cole, who gets one hell of a pop. Boom. And then you got AJ Styles, who nothing needs to be said. It's AJ Styles.
Nothing needs to be said about AJ Styles in his career at this point.
You had 3 leaders of the Bullet Club at one point. You even had a match where the match ended with the 2 Sweet in the middle of the ring with AJ Styles and Finn Balor. And you didn't go all in on it, pun intended. You didn't go all in. Come on, WWE, you dropped money.
Drop the ball.
If I were you, I would now to combat what's going on with AEW and Impact Wrestling, because they're coming. Not only is AEW killing you weekly in ratings, and I don't feel that's based on wrestling. I feel that's based on star power. I talked about it last episode. NXT needs star power. That's the only way it's going to compete. Their wrestling is legit. That is the premier wrestling show. SmackDown right behind it, and then Raw. Mm-hmm. NXT's takeovers are constantly better than anything else. I've said it. They're just missing star power. I need AJ Styles to go to NXT. I need the club right there. If you didn't see NXT this past week, when the Undisputed Era saved Finn Balor from Pete Dunne and the boys.
The boys.
Adam Cole was in the ring, and he was behind Kyle O'Reilly. He wasn't the center. It was Kyle O'Reilly still nursing a jaw injury. You heard the crowd. They're the only ones that have a live crowd right now. I don't know if it's backstage wrestlers. I don't know if it's actually a crowd. Like, of audience. There's still people there banging on the... If you listen to what they said, it was whoop, whoop, too sweet. This is around. It's not just Japan. If you don't know what we're talking about when we talk Bullet Club, search the history of Bullet Club. This took over Japan.
And here's the thing. I'm gonna, and this is, I mean, no way this is ever gonna get directly to him. But VKM, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, listen to your audience. A couple years ago, you guys came out and said, in the middle of the ring, you, Shane, Stephanie, Triple H, said that you guys were gonna start listening to what the audience wanted, and you dropped the ball again. Listen to your audience. They tell you what they want to see. I get it. You're trying to be the Apple of the WWE world and say that we're going to tell you what you want to see. But unfortunately, that's going to lose you in the ratings war. That's going to lose you fans. That's going to lose you popularity points. Give them what they want. Listen to your fans. Trips, you already know what you're doing with that. NXT's been flourishing, like you said. Like we already said, if you had the star power, NXT would be above all as far as WWE programming.
Look backstage at who's producing NXT. Shawn Michaels, Triple H. William Regal as your commissioner, as your GM.
Mm-hmm. Well, no. I mean, I'm not sure if Brian Kendrick is still doing the training.
I believe he is.
Okay, so I mean, you've got Brian Kendrick doing the training. Before that, you had Dusty Rhodes doing promos. I mean, you've had all these amazing legends and superstars coming in and out of NXT, teaching these guys the ropes, so to speak. You've got the talent. Now you just need a little bit of star power behind it to push and elevate NXT above everything else.
There's no way it can't succeed. I can't wait to see Triple H actually succeed Vince McMahon. We spoke about it last episode. There's only one way that's going to happen. I don't see that happening.
Undertaker's box?
Now that you bring up The Undertaker. Undertaker has flat out said he would love to go to NXT and help down there. This is not developmental anymore, though. This is a brand.
Help the NXT brand.
Again, I'd go all in on a club reunion. You can't call it the Bullet Club, but a club reunion. People are going to know what this is.
Be creative.
Yes.
You don't even need to call it the club. I mean, granted, you look at anything New Japan, and you've got the Bone Club, you've got the Bullet Club, you've got the Switchblade Club. You can go so many directions with it. Be creative. Come up with an original name for them. But, God damn it, do something.
AEW, Impact Wrestling. Keep doing what you're doing.
Y'all winning the game.
I can't wait to see this storyline with this club. I don't know where it's going. I don't know where the Young Bucks stand as far as what Kenny Omega's doing right now. Mm-hmm. I know where the Good Brothers are, and that's all about the green. They're mean, and they're about the green. Sticking with AEW. First, I would like to say rest in peace to Brody Lee, John Huber.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. AEW have retired the original TNT title.
The one with the red strap.
It was given to his family.
They gave it to
John Huber's family.
More specifically, his son.
His son. And not only his son got a title, he has got a contract, an AEW contract.
When he turns 18.
The negative one. Which I think is phenomenal. He cut a promo on Marco Stunt. Said, when I become of age, I'm going to be taller than you. Which...
When he hits puberty, he's going to be taller than him.
Yeah, which really at this point, no matter what, you're going to be taller than Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt gives me hope I can still be a wrestler.
-1, you beat out Luchasaurus, and we'll talk at Mean Game. He's tall.
Yeah, that's going to take some work. But AEW, much respect for taking care of that family. You have a contract waiting for him if that's the route he decides to go.
Yep.
You've allowed him to be a part of the storyline. Much respect. But AEW retired the original TNT title. And
then on Wednesday night, they debuted
this masterpiece.
The new TNT title, which the TNT title itself is a television championship. It's a mid-card belt, but just look at the beauty. You've got the silver, the gold, the TNT inlay, the red along the champion. It looks phenomenal with the black strap. Mwah, money.
That's money. That is, and if you look back here, it will be on display.
It will be on display. I don't know which mask this thing's going to replace, but it'll be up there.
It's going to happen. That is a beautiful title. It looks phenomenal. I mean, the AEW up top, TNT, the red champion, it brings your attention right there to champion to let you know that's what you're holding it. And I think they have the perfect character as that crossbearer, that guy to bring this championship in. Darby Allen.
Darby Allen.
He is on a roll right now as this charismatic enigma, not to take from Jeff Hardy, but he is this character, this outsider, the face paint, the skateboard. He is not what you would call your prototype wrestler.
He's not. He's small. He's not overly built. Speaking of overly built, like his. So if you saw the weigh-in on Wednesday night, or technically last Wednesday night,
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
You saw the weigh-in of him versus Brian Cage. Brian Cage is your typical Vince McMahon wrestler, not to get on WWE's nuts again. But he's big. He's got the mohawk. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger swallowed a bunch of steroids. This guy is just pumped.
Yes.
Now, Darby Allen, on the other hand, is the flip side of the coin. I think he was 100 pounds underweight compared to Brian Cage.
Yes.
And the first thing he did is, I know where this is going, kicks the TNT title, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. You don't disrespect your own belt. But picks up his skateboard, and he's ready to go to town against Team Taz.
And not only his battle with Team Taz, he's got an ace in the hole.
He does have an ace in the hole.
So not you have his character, his outsider character, who's an underdog, and he's a misfit. If that's the correct term, a misfit. But he's got an ace in the hole with Sting, the icon, the vigilante.
Sting is taking this odd liking to Darby Allen. I don't know if it's the half face paint that reminds him of himself at a younger age, or the fact that Darby Allen likes to hang out in the rafters, just like Sting used to back in WCW. But for whatever reason, Sting, I feel, is going to take on this leader, manager role and just kind of take Darby Allen and put him under his wing. And he's going to take this phenomenal wrestler and he's going to excel him to something else.
I agree. Sting is playing his role perfectly. He is that mentor, maybe. Mm-hmm. We haven't really touched on that yet. There's not a lot of speaking yet.
No.
It's a lot of him showing up.
Scaring off Team Taz.
Exactly. When you have a great antagonist, you need great protagonists. I've said it in this show. Darby Allen. But when it's 2-on-1, you even up the odds, you bring in the icon, who can play this character in his sleep.
He could. This is something he's done many times over the years.
This is the Crow character. It worked then, and what was good then is now good now. Bring it back. Retro is back. When Sting debuted this character, the Crow, WCW was taken over by the NWO. Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. And then they took over countless other wrestlers. It was the NWO show. There was a vigilante watching with a black bat, black and white face paint, a large coat. If you knew Sting before this Crow character, he was very colorful.
Very. Almost, and I mean, even his face paint design was more Ultimate Warrior-ish than Sting.
Yes.
So he changed his whole look up when he became the Crow character.
Absolutely.
And now he's obviously brought the look back. He's going to be mentoring young Darby Allen. Me personally, I can't wait to see Taz get cracked by that bat. It's going to happen. It's got to happen. There's not really much left to say about where this can go until we see the actual level that Sting wants to get in on this at.
Absolutely. Until we know the intentions of the Stinger, we don't know where this is going to go. I will say there's a lot of similarities. You touched on it with Darby Allin and Sting. The similarities are there. The underdog story that Darby Allin goes through every time he faces somebody bigger than him and then wins. He beats Brian Cage after taking a beating. He rope-a-dopes him and wins. He showed throughout AEW that he can take a beating and still win, so the story is believable. Brian Cage doesn't lose anything losing to him because Sting is there. What I love most about the fact that these two are paired up is the fact it elevates a new title. We've touched on this, that we hate when mid-card titles are not being used correctly and they're not built. No one cares about them. Mm-hmm. You just put Sting
on a mid-card team
in a program with a mid-card title. That elevates it for me. I want this title. This brings accolades. This solidifies my position. Darby Allin is holding this title right now. Mm-hmm. He needs to hold it for a while. This story with Sting needs to continue. I would love to see where this is going. We'll know more when Sting talks more. Maybe he might not. Maybe he just continues to be that vigilante that he was. The icon that just shows up, that attacks, that unjust hero that makes sure there's no wrongdoing done to Darby Allin.
Just as a watcher, even like you were saying, the unjust hero, he's gonna watch over him. He's gonna be that equalizer, so to speak.
Like that.
Anytime they're gonna overpower him, you've got Sting with the bat coming in as the equalizer, and he's going to level the playing field.
I agree. And we talked about face paint. I'd actually like to throw this out to our subscribers. Who's your favorite wrestler with face paint? There's plenty to choose from. Mine personally is Sting.
Oh, Sting's a good choice. I unfortunately am gonna have to go with Hawk and Animal. The Legion of Doom, probably one of the best tag teams ever, in my opinion, next to the Hart Foundation. Yeah, definitely going to go with the Legion of Doom on that one.
I have to go with Sting. I remember being a kid watching him in WCW, coming out with the black and white face paint. I was a big Crow fan. I loved the movie The Crow. Brandon Lee, unfortunately, through an accident, passed away during the making of that film. Eventually, they will make that film over again. I was a big Crow fan, so seeing Sting debut this character, the wars he had with WCW, I followed. I was more of a WCW fan than I was a WWE fan. I will say it. No. Once the Attitude Era came,
I was WWF all the way.
I jumped over WWF, but I was WCW during the Monday Night Wars, and then I switched over during the Attitude Era with Stone Cold, The Rock. But let us know who your favorite wrestler is with face paint.
With face paint.
There's plenty to choose from. And then let us know how old you were when that debuted. What do you remember about that? Again, subscribe, hit the like button.
Quick shout out, Pro Wrestling Tees.
Pro Wrestling Tees, run the mic, CM Punk.
This is Christopher Hart.
King Cruze.
And we are Jobber Jab.